each audit really is unique, and trying not to sort of cookie cutter each company or audit opinion.
Joining me today to share some insights in the audit environment is Tara Pendleton, Professional Practice Director and Lead Audit Quality Director with BDO. Now, if you were to recommend one resource the PCAOB provides for stakeholders, what would that be?
You know, the PCAOB puts out really a lot of information for their stakeholders, but I think a lot of people tend to think of those things as for the auditors. And really, the one that I find the most useful for investors and preparers of financial statements and audit committees is the staff's outlook on the upcoming inspection season. So in the given year, right, it's 2021 inspections or 2022 inspections, which we expect to come out probably in the next month or so. And what that document provides is about 8 to 10 pages. Big font, so no worries, that sounds a little long. But it gives an insight into what are the things the PCAOB thinks are the most important to the quality of the financial statements. So that's why I think it's a great document to sort of read through and see, like, last year's critical audit matters, digital assets, cybersecurity, the things that you would expect to be on their radar, but then they provide a little color.
What is the information that you think is most meaningful for people reading audit opinions today?
I think for many, many years, I think the announcement when the new critical audit matters standard was released was like the biggest change to audit opinions in like 80 years, and everybody was like, and I care why? But it really has added, the critical audit matters standard has added some additional insight for investors. You don't usually get new information as far as, you knew a business combination happened, or you knew there was the need to assess goodwill impairment. But you get to see a little bit more into how do the auditors think about those things, and what are the things that they find challenging in auditing management's judgments and assessments.
And finally, are you seeing any surprises or new information arising from the critical audit matters included in this year's filings?
I do think there's some interesting things to be learned from the trends that we're seeing. So we see the top 4 or 5 CAM categories stay the same. It's revenue recognition, it's liability evaluation like warrant value, it's business combinations, it's impairment assessments. It's those areas that I'd expect those to stay consistent, those top areas, unless there's some big change in the accounting rules. But what I find really interesting is this broad spectrum. Like, if you look at all of the different CAMs that exist out there, it really shows, even maybe even especially in the REIT space, where I think people tend to sort of focus in on these top 3 areas, and those must be our critical audit matters, that CAMs are really unique to every company. And it depends on the nature of your control environment and what your operations are and the people that you have working for you. There's just so many factors that go into determining what is a critical audit matter. And I think the trends we're seeing with such a broad range of categories, audit analytics has a miscellaneous category because there's so many different types of CAMs.